boys and girls. I wanted to get on and show you a little bit about what wheat is. If you remember a few weeks ago, I got on and I did a video and showed you how to plant wheat using a straw and a paper towel and water. We took away the soil component, and the purpose of this experiment is for us to actually see what the seed looks like, what the roots look like, and what happens to the plant as it begins to grow. So if you remember from our discussion last, we talked about how wheat is a grain, and that is a plant that people eat. We use grain, for example, wheat, oats, corn, rice, barley, and rye. Those are different types of grains. And we talked again about how wheat is important to us because we take the wheat and we grind it down, which is the little seeds up in here, the grains. We grind it down and take it to a mill and it becomes flour. And we use that flour for a lot of purposes, for example, making a cake, making breads, etc. So wheat is a very important grain and that we use, and that's important for us to know a little bit more about. So the great thing about this experiment is it took us through getting us the ability to be able to look at a wheat grain and see how it grows and what happens. So we're going to look closely at that. Okay, so if you remember, I took a straw and I took this white paper towel. I pushed it up into about right here where this black line was, and then I dropped the seed in. And then I placed it in water, a little bit of cup of water, and I put this cup by my window. So what I would like you guys to do right now is I want you to go into your plant and animal journal. And what I would like you to do is find the page that says growing wheat. And it says, how does a wheat seed grow? So that's really what we're going to be looking at over the next few days. So we all know that this is a wheat seed. So just draw a picture of a brown seed because that's an indication of that this is a wheat grain of wheat. And then for the first day, I labeled it 5/11 because this is the date I did do it, but you can label it the date that it is you're currently watching this, and that is fine. So I drew a picture of the wheat seed, which is just a brown seed. I placed it inside the straw, and what I did is I labeled it wheat seed. Make sure you're spelling the word wheat correctly because it is spelled up here and it's spelled here correctly. So make sure when you're labeling yours, you spell the word wheat correctly here. So this is a wheat seed. So take a couple minutes and go ahead and do that. And then we're going to continue on. So over a few days, day 4, so over 3 days have passed, if you're noticing in my cup and looking inside the straw, here's that seed. But what do you notice is coming up from out of that seed? And it's really somewhat hard to see in here, but there is some actual white, looks like white strings coming down and hanging off. This is where our seed has begun to sprout. So what happens is once the seed is in moisture, it's warmed by the sun, it's in a cool, moist, damp place, it then begins to change. And what happens is the wheat seed begins to grow its roots, and then also it begins to sprout. So when a seed begins to push a green plant up through out of the seed, that's what we call a sprout. Again, what I would like you to do is I would like to go back to your growing wheat reader's journal book, and I would like you to now look at the second straw, and I want you to draw this in your notebook. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to draw the brown grain of wheat. And then from there, you're going to draw a sprout, which is that green stem it looks like. And then very carefully draw some roots. Now the roots are not very long. They're just a little bit underneath the grain of wheat. And again, please label them. We're going to talk more about the functions of the roots and the, in this case, the stem. We're going to talk more about its function and why those are very important. You can also go ahead and label this as well. Okay? We'll talk tomorrow.